the famous Uka-Uka-U template set for G rank hunters. So this is a mixed set between Ukanlos X parts and Khezu X parts, which is Teostra. So thus the name Uka-Uka-U, because the Teostra parts are called Khezu, so it's Uka. So this is a very well-known set in Japan, and even now in the West you'll see a lot of players using this. So I'll take a moment here to show off the visuals because I know some of you are fashion hunters. I actually really like it. The Khezu waist looks a little bubbly and weird, but when you zoom out and you're hunting, it's actually a pretty attractive set in my opinion. So the actual defense stats of this thing are not that good when you look at the elemental. It's minus in almost every category except ice, but luckily none of them are over 10 to 12. I mean it's still workable. But where this really is powerful is in that these are rarity 10 pieces, so you can actually bolster the defense really high if you have a lot of spheres. You're going to get Mind's Eye and Sharpness +1 out of the box, so you're not going to bounce off and you're going to be using maximum damage. But look at all those slots. You have over 2 slots on every single piece, and one has 3 slots. You're also only 1 point away from Weakness Exploit, and only 2 points away from Tremor Resistance. So without even having to use much of those slots, only 2 actually, you'll have Mind's Eye, Sharpness +1, Weakness Exploit, and Tremor Resistance. You also get 5 points in attack if you want to bolster that. So if you're a Guard Lancer, you can use those 2 slots to gem all the way up to something crazy like Guard +2, Guard Up, Weakness Exploit, Sharpness +1, Tremor Resistance, Mind's Eye. It almost sounds like Monster Hunter Frontier, doesn't it? So here's an example of how you might use the set. This is me using it on my Insect Glaive. So I've managed to squeeze in Evasion +3, and then I skilled up those other skills, so we have Weakness Exploit and Tremor Resistance. So this is a very fun and very safe set that I like to use. You'll also see a lot of greatsword users with this set because you can use those double slots for the critical draw, and you can then get critical draw and focus on this as well. And of course Tremor Resistance is really good because if you're charging up for an attack, you're not going to be knocked out of it by someone stomping their foot like Devil Joe. And none of these actually require any incredibly hard to get charms, so really you can play with this set and do a lot of different things. So I just want to take a moment to show you the different parts you want, because if you're like me and most other players, you're going to want to make this set in one shot, because mixing the parts and missing one of them is almost like a puzzle. You're not going to get almost anything. So for the Khezu Special Cut for the head, just do the G1 Hunt-A-Thon against Khezus. Make sure someone has Captured Guru on, and just capture 2 or more, and you should be able to get one after a few hunts. The arm itself for Teostra is not hard. The All-Fire Stones, I have a video on how to gather those. And even the arm doesn't require an Ukanlos stone or gem or anything like that, just basic parts that you're going to get after defeating some Ukanloses. The waist also just takes some All-Fire Stones. The actual mane here you can get from high rank, so it's not a big deal. And even the legs, again, it's just standard parts from doing a few runs against Ukanlos, so it's fun. So just get a marathon room going and just have a lot of fun with it. I actually think the most time you're going to spend is to get the materials to make the decorations to make fun sets, but here's the full list of how to make the armor. So I hope you make it, and I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Happy hunting.